Hey guys, Brent Laser here. I actually was watching a Card Kingdom video where I saw this deck that I really liked and I wanted to try it out, but unfortunately the way that the deck works wasn't really explained. The guy who was using it lost. It's also in Japanese, and I'm actually going to link that video in the description so you can go check it out yourself. But I did a little investigating. They did a deck profile, and some of the cards I didn't actually know what they were, so I had to do some trickery with screen capping and then dragging it into Google Images and stuff like that. So anyway, so I put the deck together with what I saw was in it, and I kind of had to piece together how it worked. Basically, here's one game where it actually works, and yeah, basically that's it. I'm just gonna put up the game that I actually got it to work. I played something like 20 plus games, maybe 20, 30 games, and I got it to work maybe 4 or 5 times out of those games. One of them was with Galactic God. I didn't ask him to play anything in particular. He played Constellars, which I thought would be a problem for the deck, but I actually got the cards I needed right away, and so it worked out. But I'll explain how the deck kind of works as I go along and when I do the deck profile on my channel and everything. So, okay, so here's some footage that you're going to see of me using the deck against somebody on Dev Pro. You're going to be able to see what cards they have. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of surprises or anything. But I'm going to go through like a little play-by-play, and then you can just watch the video and all that. And at the end, we'll do a deck profile. So here we go. Alright, so here we are. As you can see, is Summoner Illusion right here. He's key to the combo. Basically, this guy's playing some Cyber Dragon deck. I said everything. This card is awesome. It's Chaos Infinity. So basically, he's going to try to go for that. I'm going to use Chaos Infinity, flip up my Morphing Giant number 2, get 2 guys out of it. Well, not really. I would have normally, but I only hit one monster I could actually bring out, which was Morphing Giant number 2 again. He gets his 2 monsters back, though, which were Cyber Larva, I think, and Proto Cyber Dragon, or Proton Cyber Dragon, yeah. So, there you go. And then I'm just going to set my guy, activate this, only target him, and bring out the Mega Roid Monster of Doom, which has a really awesome effect, but is really only mainly used for clearing the back, out the field and everything. As you see, I use Interdimensional Transporter so he wouldn't die from Summoner of Illusion's effect, which I'll explain in the deck profile. Yeah. So every time you set a monster, his effect is that he inflicts 1,000 points of damage for destroying it. And so luckily I had 2 MSTs down, got to pop his face downs. This really isn't isn't helping me, but it is, because this guy doesn't die by the Illusioner's effect anyway. So it's pretty much over at this point. And he brings out this guy, goes for Overload Fusion, kills my guy, and that's the only damage he deals for the game. And I figured he had a Mirror Force, so luckily this came in handy. I misplayed that. I meant to click this, but I clicked that instead. So anyway, so activate this, and then he can't be targeted or destroyed by effects because of Dress, and so I win the game. That really isn't what the deck is meant to do, but that's how I got it to work this time. Galactic God feels that this is a trolly deck. I don't know how you guys feel about that. You can let me know in the comment section. But now we're going to go over to the deck profile. And here we are in the deck profile. So basically, there's 2 kinds. This isn't the original Japanese build. I changed a couple things because they have heavy in Japan, so that helps this deck because it is sort of an OTK deck. You want to clear out your opponent's back row and everything, and make sure that your monsters are going to get in there. So I had to kind of mess with the numbers. As you'll see, they're different on Card Kingdom's channel. So I had to mess with the numbers here to get some kind of stuff that would work. And fortunately, the MSTs worked this time, but I could see how they would be a liability if my opponent had a Dark Hole, cleared my board out, and then I'm just sitting there with 2 MSTs. So other options I came up with were, or not came up with, but you could use were 2 Mirror Forces and 2 Compulse, obviously, instead of the MSTs, and Allure and all this stuff. I added Caius's and Allure because there's already there was 2 Darks in the deck already. Put 2 more Darks and Allure to get a little more draw power. The original deck runs 3 Upstart Goblins, which I didn't like. I guess, you know, this Barbaroid would probably negate that effect, but then you would have to still be able to get in there with him. He can attack twice, but having address really helps. So basically, this version of the deck runs 2 Kaias, 1 Mech Lord army, as I'll explain later, 3 illusions, 3 Morphing Giant number 2s, and 1 Mask of Darkness, and that's your monsters. But in the original version, it's just these monsters. There's no 2 Kaiases. So it's actually 3, 6, 8 monsters total. And then Fiend Sanctuary is technically another monster, I guess. It's really just tribute fodder for this guy and stall if you need it. 3 dualities, since you're not really special summoning on your turn anyway. Allure in my version, just to draw extra added draw power. 2 Mysticals, 1 Book of Life, or Book of Moon, sorry, to flip down your stuff again. Book of Eclipse is a very combo-y card. It has a lot of uses, as I'll explain in a little bit. And Forbidden Dress is also another crucial piece. Okay, so Chaos Infinity is why you're playing the Mech Lord, Mech Lord Army of Yugioh, because it lets you change all defense position monsters on the field to face up attack position, but then you get to special summon 1 Mech Lord, but you have to have a Mech Lord in order to use this card anyway. So what you want to do is, if you draw him first hand, just summon him, set him, whatever, because this card grabs him from the graveyard or the deck, which is really cool, and you only need the 1. If he gets removed, that sucks because this becomes a dead card, but usually people don't try to remove him for any particular reason unless their monster already does that, or they somehow knew this is what you were playing anyway and bottomlessed him, or they just didn't want you to have a monster or whatever. Okay, Interdimensional Transporter is, I used to have this at 3, I might put it back to 3, but Interdimensional Transporter is to protect the monsters that are brought out by Summoner of Illusion. Summoner of Illusion tributes 1 other monster you control to special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck, but they die at the end of the turn. So what you do with this is you compulse them off, or whatever, transported them off, and then at the end of the turn happens first, then they come back and they don't die because it lost its timing, sort of thing. So there's plenty of guys in here. This Gaia Drake actually protects itself from the Illusioner effect and is a level 10, so he's a pretty good target for Gustav Max. So then you have Burst Revival, which costs 2,000 life points to bring out, but you get to bring back Illusioner back to the face down defense position and go off for another play. Ghost Trick Panic is a combo-y card. It's pretty cool. You can set your Morphing Jar or your Summoner of Illusion and have Metal Reflect Slime on the board, which can also be used for an Exceed, which is really cool. Or whatever. You already have something. You already have a monster on the board, and then you set your thing and you activate Ghost Trick, and it lets you go off the turn you set them, or during your opponent's turn, which is really cool. Phoenix Chain is just to stop problems, and Metal Reflect Slime is to use as tribute bait for Summoner of Illusion or to exceed into Gustav Max. They run 3 in the Japanese version as well, which is pretty cool, but I just needed something to... I need more ways of getting rid of problems and more draw power, so I just put 2 Kaiases in and an Allure. And your extra deck is basically a bunch of big beaters and 2 Gustav Maxes. The point of the deck is to bring out what I can basically assume from watching him play the deck, the guy, and looking at the deck, is you want to bring out Barbaroid to keep monsters off of their side of the field, slowly burning them, and then either get a Reflect Slime and another Illusioner, and bring out 2 level 10 monsters to go into Gustav Max, and then you attack with both of them, and then you launch for game, basically, with Gustav Max. But he died to a Gusto player who kept attacking his defense position, Barbaroid, because of that combo that they have with the Synchro. But yeah, this deck's really fun. It's Galactic God says it's a trolley deck. It is kind of a little bit. It's kind of an OTK type of thing. I like it a lot though, because I feel like it takes a lot of skill. You have to remember to keep these things alive at the end of the turn and everything, unless it's this one, and then you don't. But it's super fun. Some of the combos you can do are set this, and then when your opponent spams the field, you flip it up with one of these cards. And then if it came from the extra deck, I guess they don't get to summon from the regular deck, or Death Bro has a glitch. But the way it's been working so far is anytime something has gone to the extra deck, it's gone back to the extra deck, and then they didn't get to get the secondary effect where they special summon monsters from their regular deck. So that's pretty cool, seeing as we play in an age where special summoning from the extra deck is pretty heavy. Yeah, there's a lot of combos with this deck. You can figure it out. You saw the gameplay footage. I'm actually kind of issuing a challenge to people because I really haven't gotten it to work that much. It's really difficult to get deck to get to work. Hopefully next ban list it gets a little better and nothing in the deck gets hit or anything. But you know, who knows? But actually the challenge was to basically build the deck yourself, try it out, and see if you can get it to work and see if you can win with it. Because it's pretty tough. Basically, like you got to get this guy on the board, and then a tribute fodder, and then you get to bring out big fatties and everything. But you have to remember to save them, you know, with your dresses and your Book of Eclipses and your dimensional transporters and stuff, unless they protect themselves. Like, and I think this is the only one that does that. So that's what Book of Life or Book of Eclipse is for. Basically, at the end of the turn, or not the end of the turn, but the main phase 2, after you've used attacked or whatever, you play Book of Eclipse. Hopefully, your opponent only has one or no monsters on the field. Flip your stuff face down, and then they don't get destroyed. And then you get to use Summoner of Illusions effect again next turn. And then same thing for Forbidden Dress. It stops them from being destroyed at the end of the turn. So basically, there's the deck. Let me know what you think. It's a really cool deck, but it seems like really difficult to play. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. And you can also link your versions of the deck to this video, or even PM me on YouTube and send me the footage, and I'll put it up on my channel. Maybe make a compilation if I get enough footage of people using it or whatever. But yeah, just go ahead and try the deck out for yourself, guys. It's pretty fun, but it just seems very difficult to play. But it's a super fun deck. So anyway, so there you go. Hit the like and subscribe button to see when I put out new videos, and thanks for watching.